Hi guys, Dave here and welcome back to the channel. With the opening of Ace Grading potentially just around the corner, I wanted to run through my first submission with Ace Grading here in the UK. Thank you to everyone who commented, liked and shared the previous video where I talked about my first impressions of Ace Grading. It was a hell of a lot of fun chatting to all of you and responding to your comments in the video. I really appreciate your support on that. It was a lot of fun to actually get to know what you guys all thought. It certainly made me rethink some of my initial opinions, and this is why I wanted to do this video, because I wanted to just explain what my thoughts are with regards to why I'm submitting these cards, what labels I'm going for, and why I've selected these cards. So let's jump into it. Okay, so I have two piles that I've split this submission into. The first pile that I'll start with is basically the cards that I want in my personal collection. So the reason I'm picking these to be sent to Ace Grading, I basically want to check quality control that they're offering from day one, i.e. is the label exactly how it should be, what sort of grades they're hoping to give me, and it's not too much of a care of I have to get these in 10s, I just want these slabbed up for my personal collection. So I wasn't too precious about having these sent to PSA, I just wanted these slabbed up, and like some of you did mention in the comments, that's how your approach is going to be with Ace Grading. So I thought, yeah, let's spend some money and let's follow the trend. Okay then, so first card is a Charmeleon Shiny from Hidden Fates. This card, it's not too bad. Centering's a little bit off, but the overall card is actually pretty good condition. I've sent Charmanders and Charmeleons off to PSA already, so I'm more than happy to send one of these off and potentially get the colour matching label just to see how that looks with the card. Card number 2 is a Lugia GX Full Art. I'm actually sending 2 of these over to Ace Grading. I nearly said PSA there. I've actually got one with PSA already. It's probably the best conditioned card that I owned. But I'm sending these 2 because firstly, this one's not too bad. I'd like to think it'll get a 9 or a 10. The centering's pretty good. The only downside is it's got this one nick at the top here, so I'd anticipate that should get a 9. Definitely not a 10, but if it does get a 10, well, that's great. My view would be it doesn't deserve a 10, so I'm hoping it doesn't. So I'm sort of doing like a little test here. Similarly, either way, whatever it gets, I want this in my collection, so it's not one to be sold in the future. The second one is another experiment. So this one's really off-center. It's almost like a miscut, the way the card's sort of angling in a sort of diagonal this side. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. But it's certainly nowhere near square as it should be. And you can see the strange thickness to the thin gap at the top here. At the back, it's not actually too bad. It is notable slightly from top to bottom on the diagonal. But again, it's the front here. It looks clear as day that I'd imagine if I sent that to PSA, that would probably get an off-center grade, which would be really cool. Whether or not Ace Grading are going to do that, I don't know, but it would be interesting to see, what grade they give that, because there is no whitening on it. So does that get an 8? Does that get a 9? Does that get a 10 with an off-center mark? Who knows, but it'd be interesting to see. Okay, next card then. So the only reason I'm sending this random Team Rocket Dark Arbot Holo is because I pulled it myself when I was a kid. It's actually really good condition. Maybe minimal whitening on the edges here and just down here as well. But other than that, it's really quite good. So again, I just want this in my personal collection because it's a card that I pulled when I was a kid, so that's why I'm sending it. I should also say that all these cards that I am sending, I am going to go for the high level Ace Grading label, except for the Charmeleon, because I want the colour matching there to see how it looks with the shiny version. But every other card will go for the top tier Ace Grading label, because my personal opinion is that's my favourite label. So yeah, just so you're aware. Next card then. So this one isn't one that I pulled from my childhood, unfortunately. I did buy this one. It's actually one of the cards that I had listed as my top 10 cards I want to collect this year. I put that video out a few months back if you do want to go see it. But I'm really glad I managed to pick this up now. So yeah, I definitely want to get this slabbed up. It's not one to make any financial gains. I just want this in a slab and put into my PC. Okay then, next card. This is the Suicune and Entei Legend from Heart Gold Soul Silver. I think it might be Triumphant, but don't quote me on that. I'm sending both halves because I have both halves. It's funny, these cards were not well received back in the day. When Heart Gold Soul Silver first dropped, it was the Prime cards that did really well, whereas the Legend cards, people weren't a fan of. And I think the main reason was you needed both cards to complete the artwork. So I understand that, but for me, when you can get both, it's really hard to beat. I'm a huge fan of this type of card, so yeah, I definitely want to get this graded. Again, these aren't perfect condition. You can see little edges of whitening on the corners. So I don't imagine these will get a 10 by any means, which is absolutely fine by me. Again, I just want these slabbed up and put into my collection. So yeah, let's get these sent over. Okay then, moving on to the second pile that I'll be submitting with Ace Grading. This pile is actually purely because I expect these to do quite well financially. So the intention here is to sit on these for a couple of years, move them on, and then buy cards I actually want to keep in my collection. That's my whole ethos with this channel. It's not to pocket profits, it's purely to make money from other cards to buy cards you actually want. So this is why I'm sending these cards. There's nothing too crazy in value here because, again, as I mentioned in my previous video, I was a little bit tentative over will Ace Grading hold good value. I don't expect them to hold the same value as PSA or Beckett or SGC. I'd like to think they'll do better than maybe Get Graded or one of the other new boys around in the UK. So these are sort of low to mid-level values, but I expect these to do quite well. Card number 1 then is the Celebi and Venusaur GX promo card. It's by no means an expensive card at all. It just looks ridiculously cool. Venusaur is my favourite starter personally, and the Celebi is incredibly popular, so I think it's a great card to actually submit. And again, I think that all these cards here should more or less get the 10, if not guaranteed a 9. That's why I'm sending these cards to see what happens. Card number 2, 3, and 4 is actually the Jesse and James. I'm a huge fan of this card. I've said it many times in my videos before. I think it's so undervalued at the moment. I've never seen a card like it with Jesse and James before. There have been others like the Here Comes Team Rocket Secret Rare, but with regards to a full art like this, I generally feel like you can't beat this kind of card. It's so nice. The fact that they've got Meowth and Wobbuffet as well, really popular Pokemon and really quite iconic Pokemon with Jesse and James is quite nice as well. Would have been good if they had the Weezing and Arbok as well, but yeah, still really cool. And I'm sending 3 because I've already sent a few to PSA as well because I'm such a big believer in this card. So I'm more than happy to send these off. Next few cards then are going to be full art trainer cards. I'm not the biggest fan of full art trainer cards, so I've only sent the ones that I think are the prettiest or the best looking or the nicest artwork. Similarly, these are all the ones I've actually pulled as well, so that's kind of ideal. I didn't have to buy these, so that's quite nice. So Skylar from Shining Fates. Really nice start. Again, I think it's an absolutely great card, well centered. I see no reason why it shouldn't get a 10, so yeah, I'm happy with that one. Next one is the Cynthia. Again, I pulled this card as well. I think it looks absolutely ridiculous with the Garchomp and the Lucario as well. It took me a while to actually spot that Lucario. It's such a strange thing. I just didn't notice it at all, which is ridiculous to say, but yeah, I really like this card, and again, I see no reason why it can't get a 9, if not potentially a 10, so yeah, I think this will do quite well in the future. Okay then, Mewtwo GX SV Full Art is the next card I'll be sending. I've sent one of these off to PSA already, so I just want to see how this one compares. If they both come back 10s, it'd be great to do a like-for-like comparison in my collection with regards to the value. But again, this is one to hold on for a few years and see what happens, and hopefully I can put that money into like a 1st edition Lapras. That'd be ideal. But yeah, again, I think this is really well centered and hopefully should come back with a 10, but we'll see. Okay, next up is the Ho-Oh GX SV. The next few cards will continue down the trend of Shiny Volt, potentially legendary Pokemon. Again, I'll put values of the raw price of these cards on the screen just so you're aware. I just think these legendary Pokemon are so undervalued. I think they look so good. One of my favourite Ho-Oh cards I've actually seen, except for probably the Ho-Oh top and bottom legend cards from the Heart Gold Soul Silver series. But yeah, I really want this sleeved up, and I'm happy to sit on this for a few years and see what happens. Okay, Reshiram GX is the next one. Exact same reasons as the Ho-Oh. Again, I think it's really undervalued, and it just looks so pretty. So I can't see any reason why this won't do better in the future. And yeah, hopefully it gets a 10 as well. Okay, Greninja GX SV. The only reason I'm sending it, well, I say the only reason, there's 2 reasons. One is my wife pulled this card. It was the first card or first big hit that she actually pulled herself on the channel. So it's got a bit of sentimental value there. However, she doesn't collect Pokemon other than Gardevoir cards, so she has no interest in this card. So we're more than happy to get this graded and see how it does in the future. Also, I seem to recall Greninja being one of the most popular Pokemon, according to a survey a few years back. So yeah, it's just an experiment to see how this card does in the future, and hopefully make some money for us. All right, Big Boy, Reshiram, and Charizard. So I pulled this recently on the channel from a Double Blaze booster box, and it's such a monster of a card. I'm not a Charizard collector myself, so I'm happy to let this go once it's graded. But I think this looks ridiculously cool. And I also felt like not many people will send these sort of Japanese cards to 8th grading to start with, so I'd like to think I might have like a pop one card for a couple of months. So that's kind of cool as well. Okay, this is the only amazing rare that I will be sending to 8th grading. I'm a big fan of the amazing rare cards. It's just there is so many of them out there, so from a financial aspect, it doesn't really make sense to get these graded at the moment because there's just so many. However, the Rayquaza I think is the best out of the lot. And with Rayquaza being so popular and such a monster of a Pokemon, I see no reason why this shouldn't get graded. And again, sit on for a few years, see what happens. If it doesn't go anywhere, it's fine. It's a great card to have in the collection. So yeah, no downside there. Okay, the next two cards are actually the Venusaur and Blastoise VMAX promo cards. I'm a big fan of these cards. I've actually got a few in my collection already, which I'll probably send to get graded in the future. But these two are by far the best centered and best conditioned ones that I own. So I want to get these slabbed up and see what the value does. Again, they were quite heavily printed, so it's not like they're exactly rare to get. But again, to get a Blastoise Venusaur and then maybe if you match this with a Charizard from Darkness to Blaze, that's quite a cool trio to have slabbed up and potentially move on in the future. So yeah, definitely want to get these two graded up and hopefully they get 10s. Okay, yeah, the last card that I will be sending is by far the most expensive card with regards to the raw price. It's obviously the Blaziken VMAX alternate art from Chilling Reign. Again, pulled this recently on the channel, so it's by far the best card I have pulled on the channel. However, by no means the most expensive one in the collection. So, you know, if I do get it slabbed up and, you know, it doesn't really change in value, it's fine, it's okay, but definitely want to get it protected, hopefully get a 10, and yeah, it might be one that I might actually keep on to because I don't intend to open up much more Chilling Reign. So the likelihood of me getting another one is incredibly unlikely. So yeah, we'll see on this one, but hopefully we get a 10 and we'll make a decision on it. Okay, guys, that's it for the submission today. Please do let me know in the comments what you think of my submission and my actual reasons for sending these particular cards. If you disagree or if you like what I'm doing, do let me know. I'd love to know your opinion again. And thank you so much for watching. Good luck with your cards, and I'll see you next time. See ya.